Okay, I'm going to walk you through threading the Serger heavy-duty serger machine. There are several things that you need to check closely before you actually start your serging, and you'll save yourself a lot of time and headaches if you do this. So let's go through it. Now, anytime you thread a serger, you start with the upper looper first, then the lower looper. So upper looper, lower looper, and then from there you work your way from the right to the left when it comes to the needles. So if you have 3 needles, you'll do the same thing. You'll start with the rightmost, the middle, and the left. This machine only has 2 needles, so we do the right and then the left. So it's always upper first, lower second, and then on the needles from the right to the left. So if you can remember that, it'll help you. Once you get experience in understanding the flow of the threads and everything, you can thread one and you can thread them out of order. I've done that. I have no problem with it since I understand, the flow of the threads. So let's start with the upper looper first. We're going to take our thread. We're going to feed it through the pole. Just take it like that and let it drop down. Then we're going to put it through the hook up here, hold it like this, and just slide it under, and then pull it through. Alright, I'm going to reposition the camera so I can show you the other side of it. Okay, this part is critical. When it comes time to pull it through the tension disc, I've seen situations where the thread has ended up like this, and obviously that doesn't give you the tension you need, and believe it or not, if you're not paying attention, it'll stay right there as you pull it through. So get enough light, get some magnifying glasses, whatever you need to do. You want to make sure you can see that little disc right there, right to the left of the knob. It needs to stay on the left side of that. Hold the thread and you can see the disc kind of move around. You want to make sure that that thread is through that disc so you get tension. And one of the ways to check it is go ahead and lower your presser foot and crank up the tension, and then just try to pull on it, and it'll resist. If you're pulling and it's not resisting, then you've got something wrong. You don't have it in there, so pull it out and look at it, get enough light where you can see it, and make sure it goes right in between that tension, and you can see that disc move when it's in there. So kind of move it left and right and you'll see that it's actually in there. This is the most common mistake with sergers. It's so easy to overlook this, so make sure you do that. Alright, let me reposition the camera where you can see the lower point. This diagram is good as a refresher. It tells you the order to thread the serger. So upper looper 1, lower looper 2, right needle 3, left needle 4. It's kind of just a reminder. The other thing it does, it gives you a reminder of the path of the threads. The tricky part on this machine is the lower looper, and a lot of people have trouble when it comes to threading the needle. It goes back and behind and slips through the eye, and so I'll try to show you in detail how to do that. Let's thread the upper looper first. So let me reposition the camera. Okay, now we're ready to thread the lower part of our upper looper, and we're going to follow the somewhat pink, I guess, looking colors on here. So we're going to go under a loop here, a little hook, and we're going to come through 2 of the eyes, and then we're going to go through the eye of the upper looper. So this one's fairly easy to do. The only part that will get you sometimes is the thread will come off this hook after you've threaded it. Always come back and make sure this little lower hook here, the thread is hooked under it like that. It's real easy once you start letting slack in this and start threading the rest of it for that to come out. So just verify before you pull the needle through tightly and get your lower looper threaded and all that. Just verify that it's still behind that loop, that hook right there. Okay, so I've got it through the first one, and that's through the second one there. So all we have to do now is take it up and put it through the eye of the needle. Let me turn my foot, get it where I can see the eye better. and thread it through the eye. Goes right through. Take it and pull it to the back. Okay, I'm verifying that it's still around that hook. It is. Going to bring it on the side of that lower looper needle, and that looks good. Okay, now we'll move on to threading the lower looper. Okay, now we're going to thread the lower looper. This is probably the toughest one to thread, so I'm going to take you through details. I'll have to move the camera a few times for you to follow along. So let me show you how to do this. Obviously, make sure the thread is through the tension dials as I showed previously. We're going to come in and loop it around this little hook right here. And then we're going to make our way down through the rest of it. Okay, the first eye we're going to go through after we come through the top is this one right here at the bottom. So we go through that. Whoops. Raise my presser foot to release my tension. Now I can pull it. Okay, so we go through that one first, and we're going through all the yellow eyes. And let me reposition the camera and we'll go through the next one. Okay, now we're ready. We've got the first one, first little eyelet threaded. We're ready to go through the next two, or I should say the next three. So there are three in a row here, yellow, yellow, yellow. So just feed it through the first one, then through the second one. Okay, now we're going to go through the third one. This is the last one before we thread the needle. So pull it up through there. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to thread the needle. The most complicated part is to go back behind the needle. What you're going to want to do is turn your wheel until the needle is all the way as far as you can get it to the right. And then let me refocus the camera and I'll show you how to do this. This is the hardest part about threading the lower looper. And let me see if I can do this in a way where you can see it. It's kind of tough for the camera. I'm trying to stay out of the way. Okay, once you come through this last little hook, you're going to take your thread and you're going to push it back behind the needle. And then you're going to slide it to the back until it hooks on the hook that's back behind the needle. And there it is. And you can pull your thread and you'll see that it stays hooked back here at the very back of the needle. And once you have that, you can just simply thread the eye and take your thread and take it over the upper looper and pull it to the back. You can pull it to the side, but it's going to end up over it anyway. And if you do that, you'll be able to successfully sew your stitch. So anyway, that's the hardest part of threading this machine, is that last piece there. That's where people have most trouble. Sometimes if you're not careful, the reason you want to pull the needle all the way to the right by turning the wheel is if you don't, and it gets back there a little bit further, you can end up with thread. When you pull it around it, it'll catch on this black metal piece here. You'll pull on it and you'll think it's in there, and you'll thread it, close it up, start sewing, and you'll have all kinds of problems. So anyway, make sure that's all the way to the right and get in there where you can see it. Get you a light, magnifying glasses, whatever you need to do, and make sure that it's caught on that little hook on the back of the needle only, and then you can pull it up and pull it through and you'll be fine. So anyway, I hope this is helpful when it comes to doing the lower looper thread. It's critical. Get it right, take your time, and you won't have any problem at all. Let me know if you have any questions.